Hello, good people. Good afternoon. This is our final project presentation for the subject course Emerging Software Technologies. Before I start, I would like to thank Professor Peter Sigurdsson for his guidance and his mentoring throughout the course. It was really an honor and a privilege to see him work, to see him think, and to be his student. So, first of all, thank you, Professor Peter. And so I'll move on with the demo and then I will go to the PPT slides. Mm, so the first project, we love the project so much, the assignment so much, the activity assignment that we went ahead and explored two different software technologies. So the first one is chatting with documents and books. Mm, so in this one, first you need to ingest your PDFs, whichever PDF you want to work with. You just download the PDF. It can be anything. Like the PDF could be a tax file report. It could be a company's inner workings, like manuals, scripts. It could be books. It could be PDFs. It could be contracts. It could be anything. We just put it into our local repository code base, and you insert the documents here. Currently, I have one on finance, law, psychology, and one by Wolfram. So, the way how it works is we ingest this PDF documents into a vector database, and from that database, we use the large language models for the embeddings and use uh, the large language models for our prompting. So, for example, I've already ingested this data into our database, and if I ask questions from it, I just go on and I will write down, tell me something about the Call to Adventure. This is a book by Joseph Campbell. The title of the book is called The Hero with a Thousand Faces. So if I just type it in, hopefully it replies back. Hey, the call to adventure is a stage in the hero's journey with the heroes. So it also gives the source of where it got the data from. Uh, there are two sources, and it gives us the answer. The call to adventure is a stage in the hero's journey where the hero is presented with a challenge or opportunity that sets them on their path. It is often marked by the appearance of a figure who acts as a guide and takes the hero into a new stage of their life. In the context provided, a young girl has a dream where a black noble knight appears and asks her to go with him, which could be interpreted as a call to adventure. So this is from this book, and just as context, we will see how it works after I finish the demo. And so let's, for example, I have some other PDFs and this timeline of artificial intelligence milestones. So I'll ask it, tell me about the timeline of artificial intelligence milestones. Artificial intelligence milestones, and it will come up with the correct answer. Okay, so here are some milestones in the timeline of artificial intelligence. 1937, Claude Shannon proposes that Boolean and algebra can be used to model electronic circuits, and all the way to 1964, where computers understand natural language enough to solve algebraic and word problems. So this is our first project. Let's move on to our second project. I want to quit, terminate this patch. And the second one is in Flask, and I think you love it. Let me show how it works. It uses both the DALL-E API and the OpenAI API to generate a game. It's actually a game, but the use cases can be converted into education, the educational domain, the science domain, entertainment, any place, and it has the potential to be worked on all of the domains that I mentioned and much more that I have not, like law, legal. So these all could be part of the project. So the projects the starts out with that there is this image that comes up and there are these options and text. The image is generated by Dolly and this are through chat GPT GPT 3.5 turbo API. mm, so basically what happens is there's an initial image and there's an initial story and the images are generated along uh, with the context of the story. Whatever is present in the story, the image is forwarded with the scenario, depending on the scenario, and the options are options of the game. These are all artificial intelligence generated, nothing is rule based. So let's see, you find yourself lost in a dense forest. The foliage is so thick it's difficult to gauge the time of the day, but you know nightfall is approaching. As you wander, you hear rustling in the bushes and see a gleaming pair of eyes staring back at you. Now this is scary. Okay, investigate the sound and approach the eyes, or avoid the eyes and continue wandering blind in the forest. Let's not do that. Let's face the demons so that we can overcome them. So let's go. We investigate the sound and we approach the eyes. And yeah, as I mentioned, like this could be used in various domains. Like okay, so we see these images are generated by DALL-E, and these are from the GPT API. So you slowly approach the creature and start talking to it in a soft, friendly voice. To your surprise, the creature responds, and you are able to understand its language perfectly. It introduces as a woodland fay and tells you that you are in the heart of the enchanted forest. So we're deaf smack in the middle of the enchanted forest right now. So ask the woodland fairy to guide you to the forest. Thank the woodland for the information. Continue on. Ignore the woodland and continue exploring the media. Let's learn about more of the forest. Let's see what she says. This could be used. It's all about prompt engineering, and if you uh, change the prompts, this could be space Star Trek setting or anything. So these images are all dynamically generated by Dolly. You continue to talk with the Foodland Fae and learn that the forest is full of magic and enchantment. The Fae tells you that you need to get the forest. So this is the basic overview of the project, and now let's start looking into the code. Mm, Before we look into the code, let's just quickly I'll stop this for now. Let's quickly look at the PowerPoint that we have prepared. And then this is the PowerPoint. Okay, let me okay. So just need to slide it over here. Okay, here we go. Start the slideshow from the beginning. So this is our document. We can see this right now. So these are the repository links. If you want the repository, if you want to check out the code, these are the repository link. If you want to play around or change the prompts, change anything according to your will, you can go ahead and look at the repository. The other one is the language models that we use. We have used the Dolly model API. We have used GPT-4, GPT 3.5. We have used Open AI and Cohere. And some problems with using current LLMs. So for the first project that we did, the problems that we're trying to address is in ChatGPT, there can be irrelevant and misleading info without proper context. So it only answers based on the information that it has gained from its training, from the tokens, from all of the internet, and it might not be specific, and it might not come from a specific knowledge source. So this software tries to reduce that problem, like to take care of the to handle and solve those kind of issues where irrelevant and misleading information. It just comes, we provide the knowledge source and we answer it, we get the answer from our knowledge source. And besides that, okay, now the next thing that we is a lack of scalability, and lack of scalability for large docs due to the tokens restriction. The tokens are restricted, right? You can see that The tokens in the chat GPT have a certain limit, and once we ask a longer question, then it gives us a message that the prompt is too long. Can you shorten could you shorten your context? So this is handled because we can talk across multiple PDFs and thousands of lines of text. So that's a better good use case for your business. And the other one is difficult to craft and manage complex prompt workers. We are using LangChain, and so the LangChain helps us to make prompt templates and to chain templates together to format our templates so that we get a better understanding of how everything works. Uh, like the prompt engineering part of sites is also handled through this project. So software features is like question answering using your docs. It's like ChatGPT for your docs. It's like personal assistants and that use external tools. We can use external tools like Wolfram also for Wolfram for scientific computations. We can use Google API for gathering the latest data or latest data, live data, and we can summarize large documents. We can talk to multiple PDFs, and we can ask technical questions. Mm. So the tools we used in this project are LangChain. It's a library for chaining different large language models together. It has context, it has agent, it has memory, so we can gather the context. We can chain different large language model together, not just OpenAPI, but several large language models, even our own fine-tuned large language models. So can be used. This is a new library, and it's quickly gathering its steam in the market. So if you want to check more on it, take a look at this documentation. This Pinecone, it's for vector database for storing our embeddings, and TypeScript is the language framework that JavaScript framework that we are using to create the front end and back end for the project. So this is the basic architecture. So PDF books. So I had the book for like Joseph Campbell's book, Wolfram book, and some other finance and law related books. I convert it into text, and these get all converted into chunks of data, text data, and then they are all passed to the OpenAI embeddings so that vector representation is obtained. And this is the ingestion phase for our project. After the ingestion phase, it gets stored into vector space. We are using Pinecone. It stores the context and its embeddings. And the second part of the workflow is the chatbot UI. When we ask a question, it takes the text, it converts its OpenAI embeddings, and we use LangChain for semantic similarity between the original question vector and the vector that we stored the database that contains all of our PDFs. It matches the semantic similarity, and it comes up with the relevant docs. This relevant docs plus the original question, we combine them and give ChatGPT GPT 3.5 with prompt. And this is all about prompt engineering because we have crafted a prompt that will you mix the original question plus the relevant document to give us the final answer, which we can see as a result, and it also gives us the source where the answer is coming from. So a couple of configs that you need to run this project is the OpenAI API key, Pinecone API key, Pinecone environment name, Pinecone index name, and once you have this done, go to the code base, clone it, and apply it for your own use cases. The other one is the other one project we have is GPT Journey, the game that I showed you earlier. Mm, it is coded in the Flask app, and there are the first part of the is images for games. These are generated through Dolly API, and the other one is the various options. This is the GPT 3.5 Turbo. So the initial prompt configuration gives us a scenario and gives us a scenario that sets the story for the game, and whatever option we pick, this option gets prompted as the prompt for image generation, and the prompt generates an image which will be displayed according to all of the options that are available. So we're using Dolly and GPT 3.5 for the models, and it's hosted on the Flask API. And besides this, some other new technologies to look out for are Baby AGI, AutoGPT, Dolly, Hugging GPT, and ones I love the most are Copilot and ChatGPT. The Baby AGI is like autonomous AI models that can perform several tasks that we assign to them. It'll prompt itself um, until it finishes the task that we have assigned it to perform. Same is for AutoGPT. You can look out for this and you can check out this documentation. So maybe I will explore much of this as time goes along. And there are the front end and back end that we have talked about in the project, and these are the features. So all in all, this is our project, and I would like to thank you for your precious time. And if you have any questions, please reach out to me in my email. It's listed in the PowerPoint. So that, thank you for your time, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Take care. Bye.